What's up, everybody? I was looking through the internet. I was looking through X. I was looking through YouTube, a lot of websites that I normally search for information and news that I think is interesting for me to come on here and talk about. And I came up upon an interview with Charles Oakley, a New York Knicks guy, a guy that played for multiple teams in the league, but he was known always in the 90s as this tough guy. And he wrote a book, The Last Enforcer, that came out, I think a year ago or something like that. And he's still promoting that book. I don't know how many sold so far, so don't go at me. But he was asked about Draymond Green, and he was talking about Draymond Green and what he thinks about him, what he thinks about his game, what he thinks about his accomplishments. And then the conversation turned into how would Draymond Green actually fit into Charles Oakley's era, which was the 90s. So there was some interesting comments made on that point, and I want you to listen to these comments by Charles Oakley, and then I'm going to come back and kind of weigh in on my own. So take a good listen.
Draymond Green, you a fan of his?
Draymond. Draymond run the NBA. You ask me. I know what the stuff he get away with. I know I couldn't have got away with it in my era. Fine, suspension, this and that. But like I say, when you're winning and you're on a good culture, and Golden State got out there, get away with it. They're like Rodman got away with it in Chicago. I'm glad Draymond ain't wearing no dresses and all that now. I have a different story for him. But, no, he tough. And I watched them in college when they played North Carolina. I think that they lost to North Carolina in the NCAA his senior year or something. I knew that he was, the point forward in college. That he was different. I didn't know he, when he was on the court, he was only 6'6", 6'7". But he tough minded. He get away with stuff. Ain't no tough guys in the league. These 7-footers in the league now, they all soft.
How you think he would do in the 90s though?
I don't. That he wouldn't be doing what he doing now.
Why you say that?
It was because he wouldn't be able to do it. The 90s style didn't fit his game. He more of like a dribble, handoff guy, ping down. Everybody run, pin down for Curry, all this and that. It's just been different, Magic got away with it because he can pass, this and that. He can push it. I don't think Draymond could have been successful back in the 90s as up today's days game.
So all that trash talking and fighting he be doing on the court, that wouldn't fly in the 90s?
No. He'd been just like Barkley. Somebody would hit him in his mouth. No, it wouldn't have worked. He already know it wouldn't have worked, But I give him credit for what he's doing now. It worked. It wouldn't have worked back then. The ring's more important than what happened back then, but his style wouldn't have fit back in our era.
Do you think he'll be as good as a player back then?
His style didn't fit. So if he's a top 20 player in the league, maybe.
So as I mentioned, Charles Oakley was asked if he's a fan of Draymond Green, and he said that in his opinion, Draymond Green is literally running the NBA. And when I first heard that, I was like, what the hell is he talking about? But then he says Draymond Green is running the NBA because he's able to get away with so many things in today's league. And then I was like, shoot. My beginning reaction is like, this guy's crazy. And then, something, he's partially right. Like, he's getting away. Draymond Green gets away with a lot of shit. He had an occasion, a suspension here or something, or fine or whatever, but there's a lot of games and a lot of situations he could be punished for, and he doesn't get that. And Draymond Green is a player that is allowed to do a lot of things on the court, and a lot of other players would not be able to get away with. Now, he also said that Green gets away with a lot of things because he's on a great team like Golden State and plays with in a winning culture surrounded by superstars. which lets him get away with a lot of that stuff. And I think that's partially correct too. He's got a good coach. I mean, good coach. You could talk about Steve Kerr being a good coach, but you could also talk about Steve Kerr being a regular coach that also benefited a lot from being able to get into a coaching position for a team that was pretty much prepped to win titles, with a guy like Steph Curry, who's, not even arguably, he's the greatest shooter of all time in the NBA. So I think Steve Kerr, is similar to Draymond Green in that regard, because his career benefited greatly from playing with Steph Curry. And now ask yourself, if you're thinking about Draymond Green, who would Draymond Green be if he played his whole career, let's say for the Charlotte Hornets or the Pelicans or a team like that? I mean, in my opinion, we wouldn't even hear his name if you ask me. His whole career has greatly benefited by playing with players like Steph, playing with players like Clay. When he was on top of his game, he's struggling now, but he was on top of his game. He was crazy. KD, and being able to win those titles and have those titles on his resume, that benefited his career greatly. And that's why we talk about Green so much. And that's why Green is respected by a lot of fans and a lot of NBA players. I mean, don't get me wrong. He's a great defender. But otherwise, he is what he is. I mean, there's a lot of things that he does during the game that doesn't really show up in the stat sheet. But if he played on any different team, like I mentioned, the Charlotte Hornets or the Pelicans, we wouldn't really even hear about him. Otherwise, Green is just another player, in my opinion. Oakley also said that Draymond is tough for today's game. He's tough for today's game. He gave him his props. And he's tough for today's rules and how the game is played today. And he also said that Draymond has no competition in today's league, and that today's big men are all soft and scared of any contact and physical play. And I can't disagree with him. I mean, look at the big men in the 90s. Look at Alonzo Mourning. Look at Patrick Ewing. Look at Akeem Olajuwon, Shaquille O'Neal, David Robinson. You put these guys in today's NBA, oh my goodness, they would destroy the league. They would dominate it like crazy. In my opinion, they would. That's just my thinking. I mean, training is different. Everything is different. They would prep themselves different, but they were just different people. Oakley also said that Green wouldn't be able to do what he's doing in the 90s. Now, his game wouldn't fit. In Oakley's opinion, the game wouldn't fit that era, and that he would be checked and punched in the mouth like Charles Barkley. That's literally what he said, and you heard that. And by mentioning Barkley, Oakley referenced an incident between him and Barkley when he slapped Charles in the mouth. When Charles Oakley slapped Charles Barkley in the mouth. And you can go on YouTube, you could search that. And Charles Barkley was furious after that. And from what I've seen over the years, Oakley talks about that incident a lot. Like a lot. Almost every interview Charles Oakley does, he manages to bring that incident up. And there seems to be a lot of dislike, almost to the point of hate, between him, Charles Oakley, and Charles Barkley. So that's an interesting situation. Oak also said that the NBA back then wouldn't have put up with Draymond like they are putting up with him now. Now, he would have been checked by other big men in the league, not necessarily stars, but players like Oakley and the enforcers types that were in the league back then. Those types of players. So overall, Oakley's assessment of Draymond Green is, I think it's true in general, because Draymond Green is a player that fits in this era, and he benefited greatly by playing for the Golden State Warriors and winning those titles. Otherwise, who is Draymond Green? That's the question. If he wasn't playing for the Golden State Warriors and winning championships, you're not going to do that for KD. KD could never win a title in my opinion. But the way he plays and what he, his stats and all that other stuff, people would know about him. People would know about him. People talk about him and all that other stuff. But Draymond Green is just, in my opinion, replaceable dude. That's pretty much it. And that's the way I see it. And in the 90s, it just would not have worked. And he mentioned Magic Johnson there for a second. That Magic would fit. Magic fit that era because Magic could, pass the ball really well. He saw the court really well. He was just a different type of player. And I think he mentioned Magic because the height was about the same, the build was about the same, but the game was totally different in that era. So let me know what you guys think about Charles Oakley taking a shot at Draymond Green. Comment section is open. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.